Hi, friends. It's so good to see you again on this Monday. I am going to the classroom today to clean up everything out of our classroom for the year, putting away chairs, stacking up all of the desks, and doing all that end of the year stuff. So that's where I will be today. So if you want to think about where I am, I'm in the classroom. But today, for you, we have Love That Dog. So Love That Dog, we've been reading it for several weeks now. We missed last week, and as I was reading ahead, I found out that this is going to be our last time for Love That Dog. So we're going to finish this book out, and I wanted to kind of share with you before I finish this that I have my poetry book here, and I have all these fabulous poems that I wrote based on what I read from Sharon Creech. I skipped a page. And so it's kind of cool that I have this little keepsake from reading this book, and that's kind of exciting to me. Pardon me for a moment. Come on. Oh, Fred thinks that she wants to come play with me, but she doesn't realize that I'm recording. So if you remember correctly, the last time we were reading with Jack and Mrs. Stretchberry, we were just about at the part where Mr. Walter Dean Myers, Jack's favorite poet, is coming to visit. So on May 29th, he said, "I can't sleep. I can't wait. Are you sure you hid my poem that was inspired by Mr. Walter Dean Myers? I don't want to do anything to upset him." And guess when the next poem takes place? It's on June 1st. Guess what today is? June 1st. Isn't that kind of cool? June 1st, Mr. Walter Dean Myers Day. I never in my whole life ever heard anyone who could talk like that, Mr. Walter Dean Myers. All of my blood in my veins was bubbling and all the thoughts in my head were buzzing, and I wanted to keep Mr. Walter Dean Myers at our school forever. June 6th. Dear Mr. Walter Dean Myers, thank you 100 million times for leaving your work and your family and your things people have to do to come and visit us in our school, in our class. We hope you liked your visit. We think maybe you did, because you were smiling all over the place. And when you read your poems, you had the best voice, low and deep and friendly and warm, like it was reaching out and wrapping us all up in a big squeeze. And when you laughed, you had the best laugh I've ever heard in my life. Like it was coming from way down deep and bubbling up and rolling and tumbling out into the air. We hope we didn't ask you too many questions, but we thank you for answering every which one, especially saying that you would be flattered if someone used some of your words, and especially if they added a note that they were inspired by Mr. Walter Dean Myers. And it was nice of you to read all of our poems on the bulletin board, and I hope it didn't make you too sad when you read the one about my dog Sky getting smushed in the road. And I think you liked the brownies too, right? Thank you for coming to see us, Mr. Walter Dean Myers. Inside this envelope is a poem using some of your words. I wrote it. It was inspired by you, Mr. Walter Dean Myers, from your #1 fan, Jack. Love That Dog, inspired by Walter D. Myers by Jack. Love that dog like a bird loves to fly. I said I love that dog like a bird loves to fly. Love to call him in the morning. Love to call him, "Hey there, Sky." And that right there is the end of the story. I think one of the most important things that I take from this book, the most important thing that I learned, is that it's okay for you to be inspired by other people's writing and start your own. It's okay to do something similar to what somebody has done, because oftentimes when we are trying something new, it feels safe to step into somebody else's footsteps. But you know what happens? If you're walking in somebody else's footsteps, pretty soon your adventure steps outside of them. And so sometimes When you're being inspired by another author, what will happen very soon is you will step outside of that inspiration and you'll be writing your very own things. So, through the summer, through the next weeks, I hope you continue to keep writing poems in your poetry journal. It was fun to read this with you, friends, and I will see you soon.